All right, we are going to be doing every single conference like it was back in 2023 before the big change, and we're going to see what happens. Like, SMU's back in the American Conference. The ACC is back to normal, which I like more. The Big Ten is back to normal. No Oregon, no UCLA, USC, Washington. Big 12, Texas and Oklahoma are back, as well as like Cincinnati and all those UCF and all those smaller schools. Conference USA, I don't know if I changed anything. I don't think I did. I don't think there's any difference. Delaware, so in this game we do have Delaware and Missouri State as new. I just put them at independence, but Army is back to independent and so is UMass. This year there's only Notre Dame and UConn, but we put those guys back. MAC got rid of, I think it was UMass. If I'm remembering correct, I think it was UMass. Anyway, the Mountain West Conference, I think it was pretty good. I don't know if there was any changes. If there was, it's very minor. Pac-12 is back to its full strength. We got Arizona State, Oregon, USC, all those big schools, Colorado, everything is back in the Pac-12. We'll see what happens with them. SEC is back. No Texas, no Oklahoma, nothing crazy. We got the SEC back. In the Sun Belt, it remains how it was. So let's sim to about week 3, and then we'll sim to the first college football playoff poll, and we'll see what happens from there on out. All right, we are in week 4, I guess 3 games into the season. Let's see how the top 25 checks out. Then we're going to check the conference standings, because I don't think we've gotten to conference play quite yet, but Penn State is number 1. OSU number 2, two Big Ten teams at the top, then Georgia, Clemson, Miami. Oregon, who's still in the Pac-12, they have Oregon State next. Florida, USC, or not USC, but South Carolina, BYU, Arizona State, Michigan, Kansas State, Ole Miss. All this, SMU still up there. LSU is 0-2. I don't know what games they just played, but now we're going to jump into the first college football playoff poll. Then we're going to see what the conferences do. I'm really excited to see what happens with the Pac-12. We'll see if Oregon still remains on top or if somebody comes out of the blue, and surprises them. But let's sim there. Let's see what happens with the top 25, and then let's look at the conference standings after. As the number 1 team is Texas Tech, a Big 12 team. Then we got Texas A&M, who is dominating the SEC. Oregon is still at the top. All right, then Florida is dominating the SEC, still 7-1. Arizona State is dominating the Pac-12. OSU and Michigan are both 7-1, coming off 2 dubs, 8 at 7-8. That'll be a good game. Then we got Penn State, who dropped. Then we got Baylor. USC is up there now. No shocker there. This simulations really like USC. Then we got Indiana back at the top from last season. Miami, Duke is up there. BYU, South Carolina, Washington is back up. Washington is undefeated, as they were really good right before everything switched around, but now they clearly are back at it, which is one major change. You could say, as the old conference was a little bit weaker, they were a little bit, that's all I'm going to say. Anyway, Iowa State, Kansas State, Notre Dame is back up there, but they're 4-3. Illinois, Texas falls to 5-3. That's weird. That's like reverse. I feel like, hey, you know what? Georgia is still up there, as they lost to Arkansas, Virginia, and Colorado. Is back at 6-2, but they're in the top 25. Let's sim to the end of the season, basically. See what happens here. Let's see what happened in the college football playoff top 25. Texas Tech, Big 12 is still on top and are undefeated. Then there is Clemson. USC is at the top, back in the Pac-12. They are remaining at the top. I don't think we've seen conference championships yet, but we will check those out in a second. Miami is up at top in the ACC, besides, I guess, Clemson. Oregon, Florida, BYU, OSU, Penn State, Duke, Texas. Duke fell. Wow, they were number 4, but took an L to Pittsburgh. Texas A&M, Arizona State fell after losing to Arizona pretty bad there. Iowa State, Houston's up there. Just jumped to 14 from not rated. Is crazy. Fresno State. That's crazy. Tulane, Michigan lose to OSU. SMU is up there again, but still, I don't think they're going to make it to the college football playoff. Baylor, Memphis is up there. Texas is still 8-4. Indiana, Alabama is 8-4, but they are rated. Notre Dame and Nebraska sneaking into the top 25. Let's check out the conference championships. All right, here are the conference championships. AAC, this is going to be SMU against Tulane. ACC, right back to back. Duke, Clemson. Big 12 championship, Texas is in it. And then Big 10, we have Penn State versus Nebraska. How did Nebraska get in? They're 7-1 in the conference. Wow, that's crazy. Nebraska is their Conference USA Championship. Jacksonville State, Middle Tennessee, Buffalo, and Miami of Ohio go at it in the MAC. Mountain West is Utah State against Fresno State. Pac-12 is back at to where they were. Oregon versus USC. I mean, that's pretty intriguing to me. But hey, SEC is Florida against Texas A&M, and Sun Belt is going to be Georgia Southern against Southern Mississippi. I want to see how the Pac-12 turned out. All right, Pac-12. USC, Oregon at the top. Arizona State also dominating. Colorado is up there. Cal was up there. Utah. Washington finished 8-4. UCLA finished 6-6. I feel like this is how it was before. Hey, it's picking up where it left off. Let's check out SEC and Big Ten because those are the ones that added major teams. Texas A&M is at the top. Florida. I mean, LSU at the bottom is a little bit surprising. Tennessee at the bottom, that's a little bit surprising. Check out the Big 12 then. If this is where a lot of the teams came from. Texas Tech. Texas, BYU, Iowa State, Houston. All right. Cincinnati came back, had a 6-6 record, but UCF struggled. Big Ten is about where it was left off, except Nebraska and Indiana. They're kind of new from this past season, but this is like doing 2023 conferences. Nebraska and Indiana are kind of surprising. Rutgers is up there. This is a little bit surprising in some places, but relatively normal. Let's hop past conference championships. Let's see what happens then. As the Heisman winner, how do I say this? Brandon Morton, I think that's how you say it. That's crazy, as they are in the Big 12. I mean, I didn't really change them. I think they're in the Big 12 anyway. But let's see who won their conferences here. That's not what I wanted. There we go. So Tulane beats SMU as they win the AAC. SMU almost came back and won their own conference. But ACC, Duke beat Clemson. I didn't even change that. Duke just beat Clemson. All right. Big 12, Texas came back and took the championship once again. So Texas Tech suffers the first L in the conference championship to Texas. Big 10, Penn State blows out Nebraska. I guess I can't say I'm like necessarily surprised. Jacksonville State beats Middle Tennessee. Buffalo beats the University of Miami, Ohio. Utah State beats Fresno State. Oregon and USC, Pac-12 back to full strength. USC jumps into the number 1 spot as they win the Pac-12 championship. And the SEC championship goes to Florida as they beat Texas A&M. And the final one was Southern Mississippi beating Georgia Southern 14-37. Let's see what the college football playoff bracket looks like. Are there any surprises? As there are not really that many surprises. USC locks in due to Pac-12 being back to full strength as they take that 1 seed. Texas Tech, Big 12, take that 2. ACC and SEC are 3 and 4. All right, it looks respectively normal. Arizona State's still up there at the top in their new old Pac-12. Either way, looks about normal. So we'll see what happens. We are going to look at every single college football week. Clemson beats Tulane 17-7. Oregon outs Ohio State 27-25. BYU crushes Arizona State as they advance. BYU is new. That's a new one. Is that Big 12 as well? Big 12. That's not a new one to the conference. That's just a new team that I haven't seen in this yet. Duke beats Penn State 38-26. That is a dark horse. I did not expect Duke to be here out of anything other changes. But so we have Clemson, AC, Florida, SEC. Those are normal. The only differences are Oregon and USC back at it again. Both Pac-12 teams in the Rose Bowl. Could have been OSU and USC, which would have been back to normal where Rose Bowl used to be Pac-12 and Big 10 only. But anyway, moving forward, BYU, Big 12 representing them, and Miami, ACC, Duke, ACC, and again, Texas Tech, Big 12. So that entire bottom half is ACC and Big 12. The top half has Pac-12, SEC, ACC, basically. I was going to say Big 10, but Oregon's not Big 10 anymore, or USC, so we'll jump to the next week. All right, let's see what happened in this past week. We are nearing the national championship as 1, 2, 3, and 4 survive. So we have Big 12, ACC, Pac-12, and SEC. There is no Big 10 team. The only Big 10 team I think made it, there were 2. So Penn State and Ohio State both made it, eliminating the first round. But now we have all 4 different conferences. Pac-12 representing themselves here. But Florida barely beats Clemson. USC takes care of Oregon as they both move on to the next round. Miami barely beats BYU by 1 point, 27-26. And Texas Tech handles Duke pretty thoroughly, 31-9. But 1, 2, 3, and 4, let's see what's going to happen in the national championship. Will the new Pac-12 team, or I guess old Pac-12 team, win the championship as the 1 seed? We'll see. Let's see, college football playoff bracket. No way! So both 1 and 2 go down. It is going to be a Florida matchup. Miami in Florida against Florida, the Gators. Oh my gosh, so that's going to be SEC versus ACC. I kind of wanted to see a new Pac-12 team in the championship, but it is what it is. We are going to watch this game, though, as Florida beat USC 24-28 and Miami beat Texas Tech 31-25. But let's hop right into this game and see what happens, as this is going to be the new realignment. Both these teams were in their conferences prior anyway, so I guess there's no major changes other than maybe, I guess, USC and Oregon still dominating, as well as Arizona State still dominating the Pac-12, and Ohio State and Penn State still doing their thing in the Big Ten. Here we go for the national championship. We have the battle for the Florida Cup. Let's get right into it, as the Miami Hurricanes are going to be facing off against the Florida Gators here. The state of Florida apparently owns football after the conference shifts back. 2025-2026 season. All right, here we go. So Miami is going to boot it off as they're kicking it off to Florida to start this national championship. We do have 15-minute quarters, of course, and Florida's going to return it out to about the 18. And by the way, I had to go back, just select the play now, because I couldn't see the national championship game if I just stayed in that dynasty, because it won't let you hop into games. Unfortunately, I wish they would add that, but it is what it is. We're just going to simulate it in the play now. We'll see what happens here on the first play for the Florida Gators. DJ Lagway is just going to hand this one off as he gets some room there and makes it to about the 25-yard line as it's 2nd and 3. We'll try to catch up at every single scoring opportunity that it can and then see what happens at the end of every single quarter. We'll watch this one more play. DJ Lagway drops back to pass. There is a flag on the play. Oh, illegal man downfield. My bad. All right, we'll see what happens, though. See you in a bit. Miami trying to put up the first points on the board. Let's see, as they're going to try and attempt about a 44-yarder, 43-yarder, as it is up, and it is good. So the Miami Hurricanes are going to be the first on the board here in the national championship. Florida! Florida just scored! Can I somehow... Bro. Florida just scored. I didn't get the play, but I got the end of the play. Does that count? Hold up. Eugene Wilson, a third for a tutty. Huge play. This is going to have to be our replay, as Florida puts up the first touchdown in the game. A huge downfield play. I did not expect it. My bad. You still got to see it a little bit, but for about, I don't even know how long of a touchdown that was. Not a clue. For about a 70-yard touchdown. A 70-yard touchdown to start this national championship off. Definitely helps the Florida Gators, as we'll see if Miami can respond. My bad for missing it, but we'll see what happens next.
Few moments later.
How am I supposed to know that? How? What? What? Alright, Miami recovers a fumble somehow on 4th and 13. I don't know how that works. If they must have blocked the punt and returned it for a touchdown. Miami, I've never seen that in a simulation. That's my bad. I missed both the first touchdowns, but hopefully there's a lot more scoring opportunities for both teams. I did not expect that. My bad. So this could be the final play of the first quarter, as he's going to boot it away, and that is going to do it. But both unexpected touchdowns. Miami recovers a punt block for a touchdown that I did not get to see, as Florida airs it out for a huge gain on their own touchdown, as that seems like the only yard Florida has kind of put up. They had a 70-yard touchdown. They had 18 passing yards and -2 rushing yards from there on out, so clearly Miami's defense is doing it right. We're entering this second quarter with a 10-7 ball game. Miami's up, but Florida does have the ball, so they could take an early lead here in the second quarters. DJ Lagway is going to get sacked. No, not sacked. He dodges both defenders. I've never seen that. That was crazy, as DJ Lagway gets it downfield for a good pickup there. They are now on Miami's 33-yard line early here in the second quarter. Florida is going to pass it, as he's got a lot. Oh my gosh, there was a lot of green grass in front of him, but that slow tight end was not able to escape there. It's 5 wide here in the second quarter, as he's just going to drop back to pass and take an easy 4-yard pickup. We are in the red zone, so I'm not going to sim anything from here on out. Here we go. 2nd and 6 for Florida, as Lagway is just going to take it and run as he gets down to about the 7-yard line. What a pickup and a run from the Florida quarterback. It is now first and goal from the 7-yard line. 14 minutes left in the second quarter. As he's going to air it out, they get a good pickup there, but there is an injury to a Florida lineman. Second and goal on the 2-yard line for Florida, about 2.5 actually, as Lagway under center is going to pitch it back as he's got some room around the edge, and Florida is going to score their second touchdown, taking this game to a 14-10 lead for the Florida Gators, or at least given that they make the extra point. Or they're just about a minute into the second quarter. That was a quick score there for the Florida Gators. I'm glad I caught that one. I got you guys on that one, but we'll see what Miami can do in response. But Florida put a really good drive together there, and we'll see as they make it a 4-point lead. Yes, they do. So Florida takes a 14-10 lead here in the national championship against the Miami Hurricanes. Trying to get about a... What is this? Why is the kicker standing like that? What? All right, man. Miami missed the field goal attempt. I don't know what they were doing there, but still a 14-10 ball game. Florida has marched back down the field. A little bit over 9 minutes left here in the half. They are looking to put up another touchdown. First and goal from the 8-yard line. Lagway is going to pass it as he finds his man. Still fights to a tackle, but is going to be down at the 2. All right, Florida Gators, second and goal from the 2-yard line. Can they get in as he has a lot of running room there? Just walks into the end zone as Florida is going to take a 21-10 lead here. This is only the first half, so Miami better score and score quick, because this game could get out of hand if they allow more touchdowns, as they can't get on the board. Florida is back in scoring position, trying about a 51-yard field goal here, as it is up. It has a distance, and it is good. So Florida adds on to their lead, making this game a 24-10 ball game. Miami better respond before the end of the half, or else Florida could get a good start to run away with it before the game even ends. We are nearing the end of this first half. Score still remains 24-10, as Florida is just going to take the tackle for loss, but they do take a timeout. 26 seconds remain in the half. 2nd and 11 for the Gators. If they can get some yards here, they could put themselves into scoring opportunity once again as they go with the halfback slip screen, and that goes about nowhere, picking up a 3-yard gain, but at least yards are yards. All right, Florida, here we go. It is 5 wide. 20 seconds left in the half. Lagway looking deep as he escapes the sack. He's going to run it as he gets down to about the 37-yard line. They get a quick play. Wow. That was quick. They have 10 seconds left. They have 1 timeout left. He snaps the ball as he just gets some yards there to about the 30-yard line. Is Florida going to take a timeout? As they do, they set up for another field goal attempt to end the half. About a 52-yarder this time from the left hash. Can Florida put up another field goal as it is up? I think it has the distance, and it is good. So Florida is going to take a 27-10 lead heading into the break here. Don't mind the ratings. I explained at the beginning of the video, but I'm surprised. 5 targets, 5 catches, 98 yards, and 1 touchdown. Eugene Wilson going nuts in the national championship. We'll start the second half. We'll see what happens, though. Miami does start with the ball, though, so if they can score, ball game's not over. Here we go to start the second half. Miami is going to return this one out to about the 15-yard line. 16-yard line doesn't get much after there, as we are going to watch the first play of the second half, but Miami has struggled as the transfer Carson Beck hasn't been able to put anything up on the board in a long time, as they're going to drop back to pass. He finds a man over the middle for a big pickup as Miami gets down to about the 36. So Miami, from that big play, went 3 and out. Florida is here back on Miami's 33-yard line, a little bit over 11 minutes left here as he's going to drop back to throw as they get the first down. He gets the first down. He has 257 passing yards and a touchdown as we are just starting the second half. That's crazy. He could end up with like 500 passing yards and 2 touchdowns as he does go out. The running back, my bad. He just spins out of bounds. They are nearing the red zone, though, so they at least are in scoring position. 27-10, Lagway drops back to pass, finds his man. They get the first down. It is going to be first and goal on the 6-yard line for the Gators. A little bit over 10:30 left in the third quarter. Lagway's just going to keep it. Can he get in the end zone? No, he does not. He gets stopped at the 1-yard line, but are threatening to put it in the end zone once again, possibly making this one a 34-10 ball game. Florida has the control over this game as Lagway is going to rush this one into the end zone. He wanted that one badly as they are going to take a 34-10 lead. Well, I can't imagine they're going to go for 2. Never mind. Yeah, 34-10. Uh-oh. This one might be getting out of hand, folks. I missed both the first touchdowns. Well, they just returned it to the end zone for a touchdown. 71-yard punt return. Didn't expect that one. Again, doesn't matter that much? No, because Florida's about to take a 41-10 lead. We'll sim to the end of the quarter. We'll see if anything changes. So the third quarter ended. Miami put up a couple field goals. Nothing crazy. I don't know how they got 18, though. I'm thinking about it. They must have gotten a safety. I didn't even look at it. I just kind of went through it because this ball game is basically over. But it is 41-18. Florida is absolutely picking them apart, scoring at will. This ball game is basically over. Although Miami could do the unthinkable and somehow win this one, as Florida is going to punt it away. And that one is going to go out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. So Miami has the ball. If they work perfectly from here on out, they could win. But they need to work perfectly. They still have a whole quarter to play, but 7-8-yard pickups are not going to win the ball game. Actually, that's a 9-yard pickup. My bad. Sorry, Miami fans. Miami's actually looking to score, but we have about 4 minutes left in the game. So Miami scores the touchdown there on 1st and goal. It's probably a little bit too late for sure. Make the score a little bit better. I don't know why he's so happy. I mean, the score is 24-41, but hey, I'm going to let him sell it. They are not going to go for 2, which is kind of interesting. At this point, you should probably be going. I'm not going to do the math right now, but they might know it's just a little too late, as they are just going to boot it off. I mean, 15-16. It's about a 16-point game. Could have made it a 15 with a 2-point. 16 means 2 touchdowns, so they got to get 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions in the next 4 minutes. I guess it's not impossible, just unlikely. I would have probably onsided right there even in this situation. I guess you could. I don't know. Either way, Florida is just, oh my god, yeah. Oh my goodness. This is over. I don't know why I'm saying oh my goodness. I have to question myself sometimes. Either way, this is this is rough. Miami is all out of timeouts. There's 2:39 left in the ball game. They're just gonna run this one. If they get another first down, I think the ball game is over. They're just gonna run the clock down. It is likely gonna take this to the 2-minute timeout. As they do, this ball game is definitely over unless something crazy, absolutely crazy happens. I don't see it happening, but they're just gonna run this one again, and it's gonna be 3rd and 8. Still gonna be, there's a minute 20 left in this ball game. If they score here, the ball game is definitely, it's over. Like a field goal, anything, it's over. And they're actually passing this one, as it is going to. That's it. That's ball game. That is the nail in the coffin, the dagger. That is it. Florida is going to take a 48-25 lead with a little bit over a minute left. So here we go. Florida in the victory formation, as they are likely going to kneel this one out as they do. So Florida in 2026 or 2025, 2026 is going to win the national championship according to NCAA, even after all the conference shifting. So Florida Gators are on top as they win it all here against Miami, 48-25. It was cool to have a Florida, rivalry game in this national championship, but it was not close there for a while, at least in the second half, as the Florida Gators win it here, according to NCAA, going back to 2023 conferences here in 2025-2026 season. Thank you, boys, for watching. You boys have a good one. Comment down below any other video ideas you could give me. Boys, have a good one. Deuces.